everyone, I'm Katya with Lunar Sun Creations, and thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be working with something that is new to me. I have not tried it before, but I'm super excited about it. These are transfer me sheets from Dress My Craft. They're like the fake tattoos you got when you were a kid, at least I did, where you just add water onto the backs of them and they come off onto, whatever it is. I mean, in my case, it would have been my skin, but now I'm doing cards with it instead. Okay, so I've got a couple that are like full backgrounds that you can cut apart. I love this alcohol ink one. And then some that are kind of, you can cut all these different elements apart. Some really cool African inspired ones. I only got one flower, which I'm surprised actually. I'm really drawn to the flowers, but I only got one flower. I'm gonna try them out. If I love them, then I'll get more. And then these are what I'm going to be using today. These super cute little critters. Oh my gosh, these little autumn critters. I did cut out two because I just was practicing and seeing what I could do with them. My first one that I'm going to work on is I'm going to cut out this little bear. So I'm going to cut him out as close to the edge as possible. I don't want a lot around the edge, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I've got my little bear all cut out, and it doesn't have to be perfect. There can be white space. Everywhere that you see white is just going to be like see-through, clear, so you're just going to get the image of the bear and the leaves. I want to stamp the background of my card with the Simon Says Stamp Sketchy Lines background stamp. But I don't want, and then I'm going to heat emboss it, but I don't want the little guy to have to go over texture. I want it to be smooth where I'm going to put him. So I just did a very, very rough mask of him just in some printer paper. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to ink it up in VersaFine Clair, the Acorn. I'm not going to go really heavy because I don't want it to be overpowering. Okay, and I'm going to move it up and just do the bottom part of this. I'm going to move this down a little bit, but I'm just going to ink up the bottom portion. Okay. It's not a perfect stamp, but I'm okay with that because this is really just a background. There's going to be a lot of other things over top, so I'm not overly concerned about it at the moment. So now I'm just going to heat emboss it. I forgot to use my anti-powder bag, but this is I want it to kind of be a little bit grungy, so I'm not overly concerned. Oh, I meant to take my mask off first. Okay, so that is heat embossed and clear, and I know you're probably thinking, woman, that is a horrible mess. And you'd be right. However, things often get ugly before they become beautiful. At least in my experience. So I'm okay with this, I really am. Things are gonna get better. I've got some crushed olive, fossilized amber, wild honey, crackling campfire, spiced marmalade, and vintage photo. So just a bunch of autumn colors. I'm just going to start doing a little random blend. I'm going to start with some crushed olive, and I'm going to start off my cardstock and just kind of like go in very random places. I'm going to start in one corner and maybe do a little bit down here. My goal is to kind of make it look like fallen leaves. So, I mean, fallen leaves are going to be very random and all over the place. So, that's how I want this to look. So this is fossilized amber. Might just go around the edges with a little bit of the vintage photo. Yeah. Okay. I love that. It's very like rusticy. Okay, perfect. All right, so now I'm going to take a water bottle and I just want to mist it a little bit. I'd even do a couple drops like this. Okay, and sop those up a little bit. Okay, so if I was to go in with this now with water, it would do what this did and just wreck all of the ink blending and such that we did. Not that it's really blending, but the inking that I just did. So I'm going to come in first with a little bit of the Distress Glaze. So this will kind of like waterproof this, and then I can go in and use my like decoy thing. So I'm just using a foam dauber right into the Distress Glaze, and I'm just going to go over the whole thing and kind of seal it. This stuff is amazing. It kind of makes the colors pop as well as like sealing it. And you don't need very much. So that is now sealed. So the instructions say that to put these face down into some water, and well, you peel off, first you have to peel off there's like almost like a little acetate kind of sheet, like a film. So peel that off first. And then it says to put them face down into water and then put them onto your project. The first one that I tried, it just curled up so much that I found it really difficult. So I'm going to put it on my project first, and then you can either use a water bottle and spritz it a little bit, or you can come in with a water brush pen and just kind of go over it like this with the water brush pen until it's completely soaked through. And because we've sealed our Distress Oxides now, they won't all get all messed up. I mean, this is theory. I haven't actually tried this before. In theory, that's what should work. Yay! Super cute. I forgot though that it's going to take the colors from the back. Kind of forgot about that a little bit, but it's still super cute. I like it. Very vintagey. I've got these leaves as well, these from Crafters Square. So I think I'm going to add a couple of these, and then a sentiment in black at the top. I think it might need a little bit of some brown, just kind of outlining the little guy a little bit. What do you think? I'm going to try that. Just to blend the edges a little bit more. Okay, I think I'm going to ink all of the edges of these leaves in a little bit of black. It just needs a little bit of contrast right now. Oh, that's a little heavy-handed. Right now everything's kind of blending into each other, so I need a little bit of contrast. Okay, and then I've got Start Each Day with a Grateful Heart. There we go. That's from the Tim Holtz Small Talk. So I'm going to pop that up on some foam tape. Okay, so I put our sentiment on a black strip and then added a couple more of the little leaves, and then I backed it on black and then on white. I still feel like it might need more white. I really wish that I had kept a mask on there. I wish I'd done it in the masking paper to begin with. But c'est la vie, you know, we're learning here. It's a very vintage, the little bear is very subtle now. I'm glad that there's two bears so I can work with him again. Because it's alright. I'm not in love with this card, but it turned out okay. And then I did this one off camera. This was just doing a little bit of watercoloring, and then I did a little bit of texture paste through a stencil. I put some like a glaze over top of the bunny. You can kind of see it shining there just to like add some dimension, and put some butterflies on there, and I think it's pretty cute. So I like that one. And then this one. This little fawn and we had quite a journey together today. It was a rough day for this little fawn. I didn't show you putting this card together because I got really frustrated with it, to be perfectly honest. It was a rough day with this one. I started by putting him on some cardstock and doing some stenciling around him with some texture paste. And then I tried to watercolor the texture paste, and it just went way too bright. I used some Distress Oxide re-inkers, and I thought they would be much more muted than they were, and they were just far too bright, and it just overpowered the card. So I cut out the little fawn after multiple attempts to save that particular card, and then used some die cuts from Forever in Time. I just got these at the dollar store, and I used some of these die cuts to just kind of hide where some of the super bright pink and blue were on the fawn. And so I used an embossing folder here, this Enchanting Vines from Altenew, and then put a little bit of Biscotti Perfect Pearls on that embossing folder. I don't know if you can see the shimmer or not. And then I used this Hello die from Frantic Stamper. So I used this Hello die and cut it out twice. I cut it out with a pale pink and then this like grayish silver metallic kind of cardstock, and kind of offset it a little bit. I don't know if you can see that or not. I ended up really liking this card, but it felt like a long journey to get to the end result of this card. I almost quit a couple times, and I'm happy that I didn't. It was one of those days where everything that you do seems to go wrong, and I was getting really discouraged with myself. I'm such a perfectionist, and I get really frustrated when things don't go according to plan. But it was a lesson to me today to not give up, and to be kinder to myself. I'm always saying to be kind to other people, but sometimes I forget to be kind to myself. I really do. I sometimes am way too hard on myself. So if you're one of those people that does that, know that you are not alone. We all do it, and we are all human, and you know, we all mess up sometimes, and each one of these cards honestly has something that I'm not entirely happy about, but there are things with every card that I am also quite happy with. So no matter how frustrating things get, not just in card making, but in life itself, don't give up. Let yourself not be perfect. Enjoy your day. Be kind to one another and be kind to yourself. Sending you huge hugs. Bye.